about 5 minutes, I'm having an interview with David Deacon, CEO of Etherstack. You might not have heard about Etherstack. So today you're going to learn all about the Etherstack, about the InterWorking, about MCPTX, about why they are so unique compared to all of the other competitors. In that hotel over there, Hotel St. George, which is one of the most beautiful hotels here in Helsinki. Join me in the interview with David Deacon from Etherstack. David, it's great to meet you here at this beautiful hotel here in the middle of Helsinki during Critical Communications World 2023. 2023 is an important year for you guys. Before we go a little bit more in detail about Etherstack, about your InterWorking solution and your MCPTT solution, let's go back a little and explain for the people who don't know what Etherstack is exactly doing. You know, what kind of solutions do you offer? Because you're often seen as the company behind the companies, right?
Thanks very much, Gert. It's fantastic to be here. And no, you're exactly right. Etherstack has been going for over 25 years now. We have traditionally licensed the digital protocols inside the LMR industry's radios and repeaters and networks for over 2 decades now. And that can be Tetra handsets or APCO P25 networks or DMR handsets and networks. So we've been licensing the technology and signaling software inside the handsets and base stations to the LMR industry globally for over 2 decades now. Clients in Japan, North America and Europe have been using our protocol products inside their products for a very long time. Almost any radio that you pick up in the market will have some component or some part of Etherstack inside it.
Okay, and that is a very good basis for going further, taking the next leap, the next step in critical communications. And when we go from narrowband to broadband, that is something like InterWorking, right?
No, absolutely. So by having a really good, deep technical understanding about how the protocols and the air interface signaling work across the Tetra markets, the P25 markets and the DMR markets, what that means is that when we go to bridge traditional land mobile radio PMR networks, public safety networks, to the new mission critical push to talk networks, we have a really deep and inherent understanding in the way that those protocols and signaling will perform. One thing that people don't realize about Etherstack is that we've had our own soft switching capability and push to talk over soft switching capability for 15 to 16 years now, deployed in networks in electric utilities, public safety networks, and different critical communications networks across the globe. And whether it's tactical communications, defense, you can find again that core switching capability inside. So when it came to 3GPP and MCX and how do we bridge MCX networks to the traditional, I don't like to use the word legacy because I believe the narrowband networks will be here for many, many years to come, I'm sure. When we go to bridge those networks together, it really drew on 2 different types of skill sets that Etherstack has. One is our understanding of the air interface signaling and the LMR standards. Then on the other side, clearly we had soft switching capability also in the 3GPP domain, and that's really how we've come to this point today.
Okay, so what is the next step for you guys? Because you're now really promoting the InterWorking and the new MCPTT software. So what is your next goal within the company then?
Sure.
Because that's important to know.
Absolutely. Lots of different manufacturers and switch vendors, the big names that we know all around the world.
There's so many.
Samsung, Nokia, Ericsson, and other players like Nemergent, Streamwide. They've been very focused on the MCX aspect and the push to talk over MCX or over cellular side of it. Our primary focus has been very much on interworking between the 2 domains, the traditional domain and the new domain. And what we think is that this really represents a fantastic opportunity for industry at the moment and governments and critical communications users to really leverage this transition time into hybrid networks where both domains will exist at the same time together. What this means is that we've now got with the interworking function bridging those two networks, we've got a new on-ramp or off-ramp to both the traditional network as well as the new network that's not controlled by either a traditional LMR vendor on one side or driven by a new MCX switch vendor on the other side. This is an independent interworking function to be able to bridge the two networks together, but also potentially offer that new on-ramp and off-ramp for other application service providers, be they console vendors or digital voice recorder vendors, location services, all the different types of applications and diversity and innovation that you see in the consumer cellular world. There's no reason why we can't have that also in our critical communications space if industry had better on-ramps and off-ramps accordingly to the traditional network and the future networks going forward. So it's a great opportunity right now.
Okay. So about the interworking, so where do you guys stand out from all of these other vendors that are out there? There are so many names, so many brands, you just mentioned that. What is the main difference?
Well, what we're primarily focused on is a standards-based on-ramp and off-ramp. When you take a look at the ETSI Tetra standards, for example, the standards development stalled probably 10 to 15 years ago in terms of a good interworking point for third-party consoles, voice recorders, and the abilities to easily connect two different vendors' Tetra networks together. So really with this interworking function, there's an opportunity for new standards to evolve and happen right at this very point right now, which allow you to go backwards into the traditional networks as well as across into the new MCX space. Because if you think about it, it's not going to be a big bang cutover from one side to the other side. There's going to be this long period of time where the hybrid communications has to occur, and you don't want to replicate command and control over on the LMR side, command and control over on the MCX switch vendor side. And really what critical communications users are really looking for is more choice and more diversity in that, yes, they might choose a solution from one of the major switch vendors on the MCX side, but they may wish to have their preferred console vendor, whether that's Saab in Sweden or Zetron in America. We've got to provide those open standard interfaces, and that's where we think at Etherstack the interworking function really provides a very critical on-ramp and off-ramp for both networks.
And robustness?
Absolutely.
Because that's where you guys came from, right?
Yeah. Well, no, look, very much so. I mean, what we've done for AT&T FirstNet with our partner Samsung, it's a geo-redundant solution. It has to always be available, despite any type of failure that happens in the real world, whether they be link failure, hardware failure, and so on. We think that we really are much further ahead than so many other participants in the market, driven by the FirstNet project in the United States, which has been a great accelerator for the development of the interworking function on our side, but also for AT&T and the industry over in the United States to really push things forward. We really look forward to being able to bring this to other markets around the world based on our experience that we've gained to date. But we have a very good understanding of the differences in the Tetra market and the European market, and the Asian market and DMR and the transportation, and how we need to bring this technology to bear.
David, you're very well known in the defense sector with your company. Can you see applications in the defense industry being used in public safety, as we have seen often with other companies as well?
Oh, look, absolutely, and maybe the other way around too, in so much that a lot of the MCX technologies that are being developed at the moment and the interworking capabilities with existing narrowband public safety solutions play a very important role in peacekeeping operations, in reconstruction efforts around the world. When you take a look at things like East Timor in the past, Afghanistan, the Middle East, when troops are on the ground and they have to work with their counterparts, be it the national police forces that they may be encouraging and helping stand back up or helping build out new areas, the exact same technology that's happening in this space at the moment is directly applicable in that kind of crossover between, we often call it green and blue communications in terms of the green army communications, as well as the blue public safety aspect as you try and provide safety back to communities.
I look forward to seeing the progress over the next couple of years, and I hope to sit down together next year with another Critical Communications World event and discuss all of the success you guys trying to achieve with this fantastic solution. Thank you very much for your time. Much appreciated.
Really appreciate it. Glad to be here. Thank you.